Good morning and welcome to another episode. Today we're exploring one of the most unique and mesmerizing beaches in all of Canada, Botanical Beach. Tucked away on the wild coast of Port Renfrew, Vancouver Island, this place is like nowhere else on Earth. Known for its dramatic sandstone tide pools, ancient forests, and crashing Pacific waves, it feels like walking through a portal to another planet. Located on the southwestern edge of Vancouver Island, Port Renfrew is a small, rugged community often called Canada's tall tree capital. It's the getaway to iconic hikes like the West Coast Trail and the Wanda Fuka Trail. But this beach, this is the showstopper. We are filming on the traditional unceded territory of the Patriarch First Nations, whose connections to these lands spans generations. The word Patriarch means people of the sea foam, a name that feels especially fitting here. Whether you're here to marvel at the tide pools, photograph the kelp-draped rocks, or simply listen to the symphony of waves, Botanical Beach reminds us how wildly alive and deeply sacred this coastline truly is. To truly appreciate the land, we must remember where it came from. The word Patriarch means people of the sea foam, a name as poetic as it is powerful, speaking to the deep generational connection to the ocean and its rhythms. Long before trails were marked or tide charts were printed, this land was home. These forests, these tide pools, these coastal winds have been witness to thousands of years of life, tradition, and survival. The Patriarch have fished these waters, paddled these shorelines, and passed down oral histories that speak to a time when humans lived in rhythm with the land, not separate from it. Today, Port Renfrew is often called the tall tree capital of Canada, but to the first peoples here, these trees are ancestors, guardians, not resources. When we walk these trails and marvel at the tide pools, we are not just visiting a natural wonder, we are stepping into a living story, a sacred relationship between people and place, and the least we can do is walk with respect, listen more than we speak, and remember whose land we're standing on. The best way to experience Botanical Beach is to get there early, before the crowds, before the chatter, before the spell has broken. When the sun is just beginning to stretch its arms across the horizon, the first light spills across the wet rock like gold on glass. The tide is pulled back by then, revealing an ancient alien surface. Smooth sandstone slabs, pocketed with tide pools and riddled with fossil-like impressions from a world shaped over millions of years. It's otherworldly. The rock formations here are unique to this coast. Geological tapestries sculpted by time, tectonics, and the relentless breath of the Pacific. As the light rises, it catches the tide pools, each one flickering like a portal, revealing delicate anemones, seaweed galaxies, and shimmering urchins in their glassy stillness. And in that quiet, when it's just you and the earth waking up together, something opens. You feel immersed, connected, not just to nature, but to something far older. This place is loved, and that's no secret. By midday, the trails and beach fill with travelers. But if you arrive early with the rising sun, you get something different. A moment, stillness, a private showing of the magic. And that, you can't schedule. You just have to show up and let the place speak. To truly experience the magic of Botanical Beach, you have to time it right. The most unique part about this landscape is only revealed at low tide, a fleeting window that happens twice a day as the Pacific Ocean rises and falls by nearly 4 meters. It's like nature pulling back the curtain. When the tide recedes, the seafloor becomes an otherworldly world of its own, alien and ancient. Tide pools stretch across the sandstone like tiny self-contained ecosystems, each one teeming with life. Sea stars, urchin, anemones, and hermit crabs, all thriving in these delicate little worlds. It's surreal, almost like you've stepped onto another planet, except it's right here on the edge of Vancouver Island. Getting here early is everything, because when the tide returns, it swallows the magic whole. Beneath the waves, a hidden world comes to life. As the tide retreats, the rocky seabed transforms into a living mosaic, a canvas of color, movement, and resilience. Look closely and you'll find anemones like underwater flowers, stretching their tentacles wide to feed. These creatures don't just drift in place, they can slowly glide across the rocks, and when touched, they react instantly, like nervous little sea heartbeats. Purple sea urchins cling to the sandstone with tiny tube-like feet, grinding shallow pits into the rock to anchor themselves against the tide's pull. Crabs scuttle between crevices, constantly on the move. Some are armored like tanks, others are so small they seem to vanish into the sand. Oysters and mussels form dense colonies, filter feeding from the surging water, each one able to clean up to 50 gallons of water per day. And the stars of the show? Literally, the sea stars. Not just your basic 5-arm kind, but sun stars, leather stars, and the occasional giant orca star, whose vibrant colors make them look painted by hand. Every pool is a world. Every creature is a marvel of survival, adapted to a life between two worlds, one above water and one below. This isn't just a beach, it's a wild, intertidal kingdom. There's something about this place. The way the ocean breathes in and out, pulling back just long enough to show us what's hidden beneath the surface. It's a reminder that the universe is always revealing itself if you slow down long enough to witness it. These tide pools, they're not just tiny ecosystems. They're reflections of the cosmos, entire galaxies of life, suspended in bowls of water, each one a world within a world. You begin to realize nature doesn't just surround us, we are a part of it, made from the same salt, minerals, and stardust. Here in this sacred intertidal zone, the veil thins, the magic becomes tangible. You feel it in the air, thick with ocean breath. You hear it in the slow drip of seawater, the rustle of kelp, the call of distant eagles. The tide waits for no one. Its rhythm is older than language, older than thought. And in that brief window, when the sea steps aside, we're given a glimpse into the source. Botanical Beach is a place of rare and fleeting beauty, a sacred offering from the earth itself. All we have to do is show up, pay attention, and remember who we are. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Mike McCumber. I'm a landscape and nature photographer from Vancouver Island, Canada.